Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Ish the Powerpunk Gamer here, and I gotta say, as much as I love my Switch and consoles in general, really, at the end of the day, PCs are just better. You know, it's so nice knowing that something that you built with your own two hands can do everything you need it to. It's so nice having one machine that can download stuff, it can play games, you can watch movies, you can surf the internet, you can do anything really. You can make videos on it.
Bro, what?
Ugh, you're still here?
Bro, what are you talking about? You're the one that showed up on my end.
Sure. Either way, what are you doing here?
I'm here to tell you that you sound a bit confused. Like, you gotta be tripping if you think that PC is somehow better than console.
No, I'm not tripping at all. And did you just say you think that consoles are better than PCs?
No, I don't think it, I know it. Consoles are better than any PC you could ever even think about.
Dude, what? You couldn't be more wrong. PCs are just infinitely better than consoles.
Do you hear what's coming out of your mouth right now? You're either dumb or lying to yourself.
Okay, we're getting nowhere like this. Luckily, I know a way we can do this. Mano y mano, one-on-one. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a face-off. The two will face off in 5 categories. We'll be putting the consoles of today and the PCs of today against one another. And I know that the Xbox Series X specs and the PS5 specs have come out, but considering the product itself isn't on store shelves yet, we're not going to be including it in the argument. They will be mentioned and they will be taken into consideration for your benefit, but they won't actually be considered for points in the categories. The categories are hardware, community, convenience, software, and last but not least, fun factor. Sound good?
Yeah, I think this will be easy enough.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch, kid. Let's get started.
Bro, I'm literally older than you. This should be easy enough. This is the Xbox One X. This looks clean. It looks fire. It's thin, but still powerful. It's a super sleek design. Or take a look at the PS4. It's sleek and angular. It stands up both ways, vertical and horizontal. And of course, your favorite, the Switch. The thing is small and portable enough to fit in your pocket, just like you said in the last video, and it docks into a clean little plastic dock with a clean little door in the back for the cables to pass through. And the silicone is no slouch either. The Switch may not be the most powerful console, but it can still play modern games like Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, The Witcher 3, The Outer Worlds, and Mortal Kombat 11. And the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X are solid in terms of numbers and chips. The Xbox One X has a built-in 4K Blu-ray drive and is capable of running 4K natively on a lot of games. The PS4 is still powerful, albeit not as powerful enough to run most games in native 4K, but still pretty powerful. In fact, it's powerful enough to run VR games through PSVR. And of course, the Switch is nowhere near as powerful as the other two, but it's still capable of pumping out some great games. You only have to look at games like Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Doom, and Luigi's Mansion 3 to see this little tablet is capable of pushing out some pretty great graphics. Of course, the Xbox One X is the top of the line this generation, and it's capable of putting out some crazy graphics. Native 4K in a lot of games, high frame rates on a lot of games, just overall, a really solid lineup of hardware.
You done?
Yep.
Alright, thanks. So first off, the PS4 and Xbox One, both the original and the updated versions, are built like more stylish PC towers. Not only are they designed on the outside like PCs, but also on the inside. That was actually one of the big pluses from the 360 and PS3. Those consoles had some really weird architecture, especially the PS3, and you'll see that in a lot of those games. The PS3 version tends to run a bit worse, despite the on-paper horsepower actually being a bit better, even in some cases than the PS4 and Xbox One. With the PS4 and the Xbox One, both companies essentially just made a PC with a CPU and GPU that interact with one another just like a PC does. The only difference between the most recent generations of consoles and a PC, Switch notwithstanding, are the OS. A PC runs Windows, which we'll go over later. But let's talk internals now. The Xbox One and PS4 have seen major upgrades, that much is true. But take a look at the Xbox One and PS4 base models and compare them to the PCs even of that time. If you go back and look at the specs that people could buy for their PC for not that much money, the Xbox One and the PS4 were even less powerful. With the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, even they don't represent the most powerful hardware out there. They're powerful, sure, but an i7 and RTX 2080 rig could easily cream both of them, without even overclocking. And that's the other thing. When you first build a PC, it isn't even its final form. You can overclock it, and with some of the newest chips available, like the new 10th gen Core i9, you can choose which cores to hyperthread, which means that if there's a specific software that puts a lot of stress on single-thread cores, they have the power that they need. And do I even have to mention the unsightly power brick on the base Xbox One? I mean, seriously, what the hell is that thing?
Yeah, okay, that's fair. The Xbox One's power brick was huge, and yes, the consoles of today are pretty underpowered compared to PCs. But what about next gen? It's right around the corner.
That's actually a valid question, but here's the thing. It's called next gen for a reason. The consoles coming out are the consoles of tomorrow, but the technology in those consoles of tomorrow is still available on the PCs of today. Now, there are a couple new things that the new consoles are bringing, like the new SSD technology with Xbox Velocity architecture and whatever the PS5 is doing, and that actually does look really cool. And eventually I do think it'll trickle over into PC SSD technology as well. But the simple fact remains that whatever the consoles of next gen are doing, PCs are already doing right now. It may be expensive, but the technology is there.
Yeah, I guess you got a point.
Not just a point, the point. The hardware round goes to PC.
So, you just want me to cut you off here?
Hold up, let me get some stuff out. For one, the PC community is nowhere near as cancerous as the Xbox community. The Xbox community is infamous for its terrible fucking swearing problem. That stereotype of the 6-year-old playing GTA and screaming the N-word into his headset comes from Xbox and Xbox Live. It's gotten better for sure over the years, as a lot of the Xbox community has gotten out of their edgy teenage phase, except for you, of course.
Ayo,
Up. Let me finish. But the community surrounding the Xbox still isn't the best, even though most people have moved out of that. You'll always see people arguing whether the Xbox or PlayStation is better. And sure, console wars have been around for generations, but with the advent of the internet and how prolific and intertwined it's become with pop culture and free speech, console war arguments are nasty nowadays. I mean, they're worse than the old Sega vs. Nintendo shtick from the early 90s. Now, speaking of Nintendo, from my own experience, the Nintendo community has probably been the easiest to deal with since they're pretty accepting. But damn, the things that set people off in there. I mean, you even think of mentioning the ungodly idea that Ocarina of Time isn't as good as people say it is, and... Ah, crap, the angry mob's back. You see what I mean when I say the console community is pretty toxic?
Are you done?
Yeah, I think so.
Well then, allow me to retort. I have 3 words for you.
And what would those 3 words be?
PC Master Race.
Yeah, alright, fair, you get the point.
Humor the argument for just a second. The main problem with the PC community is the insane elitism with them. Have you ever spoken with a PC gamer without them mentioning some BS PC Master Race stuff? These dudes can't even see a thing about gaming without talking about how great their PCs are. PC gamers just act like they're better than everyone else, and often don't recognize the merits of a console. Sure, a PC can be more powerful than any console, but do console gamers really care? The community for console gamers isn't pretty, don't get me wrong, but the PC gamers community is the only one worse than Fortnite's.
I mean, you didn't have to go there. I already gave you the point.
Point counted. That's 1 point for console.
Now, before you even think of counting PCs out of the running in this one, there's actually quite a bit of convenience to them. Sure, you're not going to be able to carry them around places in a backpack, and unless we're talking about gaming laptops, but you are going to be able to run everything out of one machine. The keyboard and mouse are the best and most versatile input methods out there. Not only can you type each letter of the alphabet and all the numbers, but within gaming, you can remap controls, have backlit keys for dark environments, and most importantly, have the ability to run games at whatever settings you want, even if your computer can't necessarily handle them. It's convenient to be able to do everything on one device, with the best input method on earth, the mouse and keyboard, which aren't just great for the fact that they're known to be more accurate, but also the fact that they're way more versatile.
My turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
The convenience of a console is the reason it is so appealing to consumers all around the world. Just think about it. Instead of having to juggle prices and comparing different CPUs, GPUs, motherboards, a gamer can walk into Best Buy, pick up an Xbox One off the shelf, shell out a couple $100, and be home gaming in a matter of an hour. Building a PC not only takes hours of research to find the best parts, but also is just straight up inconvenient. The average gamer isn't looking for a computer hardware session and just wants to have fun. Instead of wiring an entire computer and putting together parts that can be intimidating for beginners, not to mention break easily, gamers can just plug in their consoles with one HDMI cable and get gaming. It's really not an argument that a PC is more convenient than a console. Beyond that, consoles are just way more portable. If you ever need to take your gaming device outside your house, consoles provide that portability. A Nintendo Switch can literally fit in your pocket, and a PS4 or Xbox One can easily be stored in a bag for safe travel. However, if you want to take your fragile and very expensive gaming PC anywhere, it'll probably take way too much time and way too many zip ties.
Yeah, this was your point from the start. I mean, the whole idea of a console is that it's just a more convenient PC.
I mean, it's hard to argue with basic logic, man. Point to console. Okay, so before you destroy this argument, let me at least state what I want to say. Similar to the convenience argument, if you just want a device purely for gaming, console software is the way to go. It's simple to navigate, you can see your games, your friends, and their activity, and look at other apps as well. It gets the job done without saving anything fancy. If you just want to game, it's the perfect fit. Not to mention, you can have cool apps like Netflix, ESPN, for other entertainment outlets for the same time on your console.
Are you done?
Yeah, I guess do your thing.
Thank you. I agree with you. Netflix, ESPN, Twitch, Hulu, YouTube, all these apps are great. But you know what they're also on? This small thing called the internet. There's these wild apps called internet browsers, and you can access all of the same stuff from a smartphone. Does that make a smartphone equal to a console? No. The idea you brought up of seeing your friends and their activity. Steam's community hub is basically the same thing, and you also have places like Reddit and other forums where you can see people's journeys through games and get tips and help if you really want. Games can be organized where and how you want them with Windows and Mac OS, although gaming on a Mac is, let's just not go there again.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't touch that.
Yeah, but anyway, the UI on a console is more organized, I'll give you that. But that comes at the cost of not being able to do anything on it. The reason why a PC's desktop can be so cluttered is because you can do so much on a PC, more than just gaming. You can write Word docs, create spreadsheets and PowerPoints, edit videos, record videos, make music, surf the web, code, listen to music, and that's just for the basic user. Then there's experiments you can do like Hackintoshes and sideloading stuff. Theoretically, through emulators and ROMs, you can turn a PC into every console ever made if you really wanted to. Windows is a more deep, more versatile, cleaner, and more advanced OS than any console out right now, and I can almost guarantee you that it's going to be that way until the end of time.
Yeah, about what I expected. You win.
I know. Point to PC.
Admittedly, this one's a bit hard to decide. In the Xbox vs Nintendo one, we had this category really represent the experience with the devices. But in this one, since the experiences are so different, since consoles and PCs are such different systems, it's going to be harder to decide which one gets the point here.
Maybe for you. Bottom line is, PC is a more fun platform to play on. PC games have mods, bigger communities, and are the platform where even exclusives go to thrive. Modding is one of the biggest things in gaming. A game like Garry's Mod could never run on a console. Plus, people don't have to be good at modding to enjoy it since they can find mod packs online. I don't know a thing about coding, so I can't mod games or create texture packs since I don't know how to do that either, but I still have a skin on my Minecraft player in Java. I never figured out how to mod myself, but thanks to the extensive PC community, I was able to find free open source mods for all kinds of games. And that's the other thing. The PC's overall community may be elitist or more toxic in certain cases, but the niche communities can be really fun and informative. Not everyone is out to get you, especially if you're just starting out doing something like modding. Not to mention, the place where the most games are is the place where the most fun is, and that's PC. Sure, consoles may have certain exclusives, but even those exclusives we're seeing now, they're coming to PC. Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn, both great PS4 exclusives, have now made their way to PC, and the games are frankly better for it. They run better, they look better, the modding communities have already put in work. It's beautiful to see these games get a second life on a better system. The only company that doesn't put their exclusives on PC is Nintendo, since Xbox also puts its exclusives on PC as well. PC is the place to find the most games. From AAA titles to indie games, the PC is the best platform.
Alright, sure, mods are definitely the best way to take your gaming experience to the next level. And sure, you obviously can't do any of that on a console. But I want you to think about the most fun or memorable moment you had gaming. It may seem like a PC should be more fun, but a PC just doesn't have that console magic. endless nights playing Call of Duty Zombies with your best friend while you're at their house, having a free-for-all in Super Smash Bros. Brawl on the Wii. These couch co-op experiences are impossible to be had on a PC, since there's no split screen or mechanic like that to run a game more than once on the same PC. Also, bold of you to write off Nintendo's exclusives not being on PC in one sentence. I'm no Nintendo fanatic, but any gamer with half a brain cell knows Nintendo has some, if not some of the best games of all time. Sleeping on Pokemon, Mario, Smash, Zelda, and many other series just isn't right. Also, Nintendo's consoles themselves offer unique experiences that a PC could never create ever. Look at the Wii, those motion controls are still some of the smoothest mechanics I've ever seen on a console, and that was in 2007. And let's not forget about the DS, a device that can run most of these amazing games and can fit in your pocket. And of course, the absolute unit that the Nintendo Switch is. I don't think I need to keep talking about how great Nintendo is. The argument could be easily made that Nintendo by itself is better than PC gaming. Not to mention, if we're considering all of console history, then you can't forget about the absolute units that are the NES and SNES back in the day. The NES practically single-handedly revived gaming in the States. The industry wouldn't exist the way it is without it. And it wouldn't exist the way it does without consoles.
Like, that's cool and all, but like I can just emulate all those consoles on my PC?
Yeah, you can. The same way you can get carted off to jail because that's a legal gray area.
Fair enough. We'll keep emulation out of the question. So, I guess then you're right. As much as mods are amazing and as much fun as Minecraft Java is compared to Bedrock, especially since it gets updates first, consoles just have more of a connection to the players' hearts.
Yup. You didn't stand a chance arguing against your own Nintendo.
What can I say? They make great games. I have a whole intro for the Mario Galaxy playthrough on the channel that goes more into depth about the experience I have with that game. And to be honest, as great as games look on PC and as modular and fun as they can be, they won't ever have that same feeling that flying through space as Mario or Master Chief for the first time did, or trading and battling Pokemon with your friends, or being immersed in The Last of Us' story, or hell, even just running left to right in Sonic and the OG Mario. Point to console. Game over. Well, that's all we got for y'all today, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. Gotta say, that was a fun one. Maybe we should do another one of these pretty soon instead of waiting like 5 or 6 months for the next one.
Well, we did get greenlit for a whole season of this.
Wait, you're still here?
About that. I can't really go anywhere. You got stuck on my end.
Right, but I'm running this episode. In the meantime, you got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, sure. Make sure to subscribe to me and join the Discord server that a lot of these videos are going to be premiering in. Both are, I'm sure, linked in the description.
And that's another one done, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like down below. Comment below how hype you are for this series, Face Off, as well as if you have any suggestions as to what could face off next, and we might just consider yours for one of the upcoming episodes. Subscribe to the channel, and also, as he said, be sure to subscribe to Brick General, the other guy who was in this video. His link will be in the description, along with the Discord server in which you can join watch parties for whenever the new face-offs come out. Also remember to punch that bell icon so that you get notifications every single time a new video drops as soon as it drops, including the moment in time I go live, as well as the premieres of any upcoming face-offs on this channel. I'll also be posting a playlist, as will Brick General, of all the face-offs compiled, so we're going to be alternating. The next one will be on his channel, the one after will be on my channel, and so on. And as always, share the video to promote bad YouTubers such as myself. So in short, everybody, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm Ish, the Power Pump Gamer. We'll see you next time on Face Off.